everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely, let's do it.
We're tackling the whole brain child today, which so many of you requested.
It's a classic for a reason.
Definitely. But we're not just skimming the surface.
Right, we're going deep, getting practical, talking about how to actually use this stuff.
Exactly, because knowing about the brain is cool, but we all really want to know, how does this help with, like, tantrums at the grocery store? Or sibling rivalry that feels like it'll never end?
That's where the book shines, actually. It bridges the gap between the science and real life.
And it starts with this idea of, what was it called? Survive and thrive.
Yes, because we as parents are often just trying to survive the day, right?
Yeah. Tell me about it. But the book says those tough moments are also opportunities.
Huge opportunities. Like, picture this. Your kids are fighting over a toy. Total meltdown mode.
I know that scene all too well.
Instead of just yelling, stop, which, let's face it, we've all done.
More times than I like to admit.
You can actually use that moment to teach them incredible skills, like how to see things from the other person's point of view, how to compromise. You're literally shaping their brains while you're also restoring peace.
Okay, so we're using those survive moments to build thrive skills. That's genius.
It really reframes things, doesn't it?
It totally does. And the book also goes into this whole left brain, right brain thing. Why is that so important for us parents?
Think of it like this. The left brain is all about logic, words, step-by-step thinking.
Okay, got it.
Right brain, on the other hand, that's emotions, big picture stuff.
So when a kid's having a meltdown, it's often their right brain taking over.
Bingo. Trying to reason with them at that point.
It's like talking to a brick wall, I bet.
Pretty much. They're not ignoring you on purpose. It's just that emotional side is so loud, logic can't get through. Remember the story about Katie and her separation anxiety?
Yeah.
Her dad kept saying, but you love school, which, logically she did.
But that wasn't the point at that moment, right?
Yeah, exactly. Her right brain was flooded with fear from a past experience. Even though logically she knew school was fine, that feeling was real and intense.
And that's where connect and redirect comes in, doesn't it?
Yes. Such a powerful tool. Instead of dismissing those big feelings, we name them, validate them. Like, I see you're scared, honey. It's okay to feel that way.
That's the connect piece.
Yeah.
And then you redirect, gently bring in the left brain.
Exactly. Maybe you talk about what happened before that was scary, or make a plan for how to feel safer. You're helping their whole brain work together.
Yeah, so it's like we're building a bridge between their emotions and their logic.
You got it. Makes discipline so much more effective, too. You're not just punishing, you're actually teaching them how to manage those big feelings.
Oh, this is good stuff. Speaking of which, the book also talks about the upstairs brain and the downstairs brain. What a great analogy.
Isn't it? Upstairs brain, think control center, planning, thinking things through.
Right.
Downstairs, that's all instinct, reactions, especially to stress.
So when a kid throws a tantrum, it's their downstairs brain driving the bus.
And honking the horn like crazy. But guess what? Adults have those downstairs brain moments, too.
Yeah, I'd say so. We've all lost it at some point. So how do we not let the downstairs take over completely?
First thing, avoid a power struggle. Because when someone's downstairs brain is in charge, logic's basically offline.
That explains a lot, actually.
Right. So instead, try to calm that amygdala, the fear center. Deep breaths together, a soothing voice, even a hug can do wonders.
Like riding out the storm together?
Exactly. Once things are calmer, then you can talk about what happened, how to handle it differently next time.
And the book also makes this great point. Even when we mess up as parents.
Oh, which we all do.
Absolutely. Those can be teaching moments, too. Apologizing, showing them it's okay to make mistakes. We're all learning here.
And you know what? This whole downstairs brain thing, it connects to something else I
Yeah.
found fascinating. Those hidden memories that can really drive our behavior. Yes. The power of implicit memories. They're unconscious, emotional, often stored in that right brain. Like the story about Tina's son, who was terrified of swimming lessons but couldn't explain why.
Turned out it was linked to a past trauma, something he didn't even consciously remember. So how do we help kids when they have these hidden fears that are affecting them now?
It's all about bringing those memories into the light. Storytelling is key here. You can encourage them to talk about their feelings or even tell stories yourself that help them make sense of their experiences.
Like giving them the missing pieces of the puzzle.
Exactly. And it's important to debunk a couple of myths about memory here. One, it's not like a filing cabinet, perfect recordings. It's more like a kaleidoscope, maybe. The pieces shift each time we remember.
That's interesting.
And two, every time we recall a memory, we're actually reconstructing it. So it's not just about what happened, but how your child makes sense of it now, which, leads us to one of the most empowering concepts in the book, I think.
Yeah.
Mindsight.
Ooh, yes. This is where things get really cool. But what is mindsight exactly? It sounds a bit mysterious.
It's the ability to understand our own minds and the minds of others. Like, imagine a flashlight suddenly lets you see what's going on inside yourself and other people, helps you connect on a deeper level.
I like that image. And the book uses this analogy of a wheel, right? The wheel of awareness.
Yes, brilliant, isn't it? The rim of the wheel, that's all the things we can be aware of, our thoughts, feelings, sensations, all that.
Yeah.
The hub is our awareness itself, that place of calm observation.
Okay, I'm visualizing this.
And the key is learning to shift from the rim to the hub. When we're stuck on the rim, we're consumed by those thoughts and feelings. But at the hub, we can choose how to respond.
Powerful stuff. But how do we actually teach this to our kids? It seems kind of abstract.
It starts with helping them pay attention to their internal landscape. The book calls it sifting, which stands for sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts.
So we're giving them the vocabulary to describe what's going on inside.
Yes. And just asking simple questions like, what are you feeling in your body right now? Or what thoughts are popping up in your head?
Makes sense.
Once they can identify those inner experiences, they can start to manage them. Take deep breaths, shift their focus. It's like giving them a superpower, the power to control their inner world.
That's amazing. And speaking of connection, the book really emphasizes how crucial it is for kids to develop strong relationships, a sense of belonging. Why is that so important, you think?
Because those early relationships, they actually shape a child's expectations for all their future relationships. Think about it. If a child grows up in a family where conflict is always handled with yelling, put-downs,
Oof. Yeah.
that's going to influence how they interact with friends, partners, even their own kids someday.
So we're not just shaping their childhood, we're shaping their whole approach to relationships. Wow. Okay. That's a lot to think about.
It is. But the good news is we can be intentional about creating a family environment that fosters warmth, empathy, respect. And a big part of that is, well, having fun together.
Yes. Building forts, telling jokes, all those things that make family life fun. And it's not about being perfect.
Not at all. It's about making joy and connection a priority, even amidst the chaos. And remember, fun actually changes our brains. It releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical, and reinforces those positive interactions.
It's like we're wiring ourselves for connection through laughter. Love it. But let's be real, things aren't always fun. So how do we handle those inevitable conflicts in a way that actually strengthens our connection with our kids?
That's where we shift our perspective. Instead of seeing conflict as something to avoid, we can use it as a teaching moment.
I like that.
So teaching them to communicate, problem solve, see things from different perspectives, we're giving them the tools to build healthy relationships for life.
Essential life skills, for
Yeah.
sure.
And we can't forget about those unspoken messages. The book talks about listening to what's not being said.
Because nonverbal cues speak volumes, don't they? We can teach our kids to be little emotion detectives, paying attention to facial expressions, tone of voice, even the silences.
Exactly. Communication goes way beyond just the words we say.
Wow, we've covered so much ground already. And I have to say, I'm feeling incredibly energized by all this. It's like the whole brainchild has given us a whole new lens through which to view parenting. It's exciting.
It is, and there's so much more to explore.
Well, lucky for us, we have more deep dive time. We'll be back soon to continue unpacking all these incredible strategies from the whole brainchild.
It's amazing how much they pack into this book. Right?
I know, right? And we keep coming back to this word, integration. What does that really mean when we're talking about, like, raising a whole brain kid?
Well, think of it this way. You're helping your child's brain become this well-oiled machine.
Okay.
All the different parts, the logical left brain, the emotional right brain, upstairs, downstairs,
Yeah.
they're all working together smoothly.
So not favoring one part over the other, but helping them all connect.
Exactly. And the more integrated your child's brain becomes, the better they'll be at handling those tough emotions, making thoughtful decisions, navigating the world, really.
It's like building a foundation for their well-being, piece by piece.
That's a great way to put it. And remember that refrigerator sheet at the end of the book?
Yes. With all the strategies summarized.
It's cold. And it reminds us that, integration isn't a one-time thing. It's a journey.
Ongoing process.
Yeah.
So we got to use these strategies consistently.
Exactly. It's about those everyday interactions, making them count. And, different strategies are going to be more effective at different ages, of course.
Right, right. Which is why they have that whole brain ages and stages section, I guess.
So helpful. Because we can tailor our approach depending on where our child is developmentally.
Makes total sense. So speaking of those strategies, let's dive into a few more. We talked about connect and redirect before, right? Acknowledging those big feelings before trying to reason with them.
Such a game changer.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
like we're saying, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here to help you make sense of this.
Exactly. And then there's name it to tame it, helping kids process those big emotions by actually putting words to them.
Oh, yeah, I love this one. It's so simple, but it works. Like, instead of saying, stop crying, it's not a big deal, we can say something like,
I see you're really disappointed we can't go to the park today. It's okay to feel disappointed.
perfect example.
And just by naming that emotion, we're helping them build their emotional vocabulary, learn to regulate those feelings.
Like we're teaching them emotional literacy.
Exactly. And another powerful tool, storytelling.
Oh, yes. Stories are amazing.
They help us make sense of the world, connect with others, build empathy. Think about it. We use stories for everything. Teaching life lessons, processing tough stuff, connecting with our history.
And the book gives some great tips for using storytelling in everyday life, right?
Like reading together, encouraging kids to tell their stories.
Even using stories to prep them for stuff like, remember when we went to the doctor last time? This time will be similar, but...
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about helping them create a narrative that makes sense of their world.
Okay, what else?
Well, there's engage, don't enrage,
Mm-hmm.
which is all about, appealing to that upstairs brain.
The logical control center?
Right. So instead of just barking orders or punishing, we're inviting them to think, to make choices.
Be part of the solution.
Exactly. Like instead of clean your room,
Yeah.
try what's one thing you could do to make your room more organized?
Ooh, I like that.
Or instead of no screen time, it could be, would you rather play outside for 30 minutes before screen time or read a book for 15?
Giving them options.
It shifts things from power struggle to collaboration.
Amazing how these small changes in how we talk to them can make such a big difference.
Huge difference. You're speaking to their ability to reason, make choices, which is so empowering.
And speaking of empowerment, let's talk about a strategy that uses the power of the body. Move it or lose it.
Yes. We all know exercise makes us feel better, but this is about strategically using movement to shift our emotional state.
So when your child, or even you, is feeling overwhelmed, stressed, get moving.
It's like hitting the reset button on your mood. Physical activity releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals, helps regulate the nervous system.
And it doesn't have to be complicated, right?
Not at all. The book suggests dancing, playing outside, having a pillow fight, even just stretching or deep breathing.
Find what works and make it a regular thing.
Absolutely. What else? Oh, rewind and replay. This one's especially helpful for dealing with those tough memories, maybe even traumatic experiences that are still causing problems.
Like that story about Eli, who developed a fear of woodworking tools after seeing his friend get hurt.
Exactly. By revisiting that memory with Eli, his dad helped him process the trauma and create a new, more positive narrative.
Not erasing the memory, but changing how it's stored in the brain. And the book uses that analogy of a remote control, right?
Brilliant, isn't it? You can encourage your child to, pause the memory, rewind certain parts, even fast forward to the resolution.
Wow, that's powerful.
It gives them a sense of control over those memories.
Okay, one more.
Remember to remember. All about the power of reminiscing. Our memories shape who we are, right? So taking time to recall and share those memories, both good and bad, can be really beneficial.
It's about creating a shared history, a sense of belonging.
Exactly. Asking about their day, looking at photos together, talking about fun times from the past. All these things strengthen their sense of self.
And it's a great way to connect generations, too, right? When we share our memories with them.
Love that. It's those shared stories that weave us all together. So now, to wrap up our deep dive into the strategies from the whole brain child, let's shift gears and focus on two more that are all about building strong relationships within the family.
Because at the end of the day, it's those relationships that matter most, right?
Absolutely. And these last two, increase the family fun factor and connect through conflict, they're all about creating a family culture where connection and joy are priorities.
It's not about being perfect, having this picture-perfect family, but being intentional, making time for fun, for connection, even when life is crazy busy.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Playing games, telling jokes, movie nights, building forts, going on adventures, whatever your family enjoys.
And how about siblings? How do we help them connect, have fun together?
That's so important
Mm.
because research actually shows that the best predictor of a strong sibling relationship later in life is how much positive time they spent together as kids.
Makes sense. So encourage them to play together, work on projects together, build those shared memories.
Exactly. You're laying the foundation for a lifelong bond. But what about when those sibling relationships are, well, a little rocky? How do we handle conflict in a way that brings them closer instead of driving them apart?
Yeah, good question.
That's where connect through conflict comes in. Might sound a little counterintuitive, but the book makes a really compelling case for seeing conflict as an opportunity.
So instead of shutting it down, we use it as a teaching moment.
Exactly. Guiding them to express their needs respectfully, to really listen to each other, work together to find solutions that work for everyone.
It's like conflict resolution 101.
That's it. We're teaching them to be peacemakers, not just peacekeepers. And it all starts with us, of course, when we model those skills.
Showing them how to handle conflict with grace, with understanding.
We're creating a ripple effect that will benefit them in all their relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty powerful stuff, right?
It is. And with that, I think we're ready to move on to the final part of our deep dive into the whole brain child. Wow, what a journey it's been. Wow, we've really covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From those different parts of the brain to all those practical strategies from the book.
It's been quite a journey. And you know what I find really reassuring? The book makes it clear it's never too late to start using these ideas.
That is good to hear because, well, let's be honest, none of us were born perfect parents, right?
Exactly. We're all learning as we go. And every interaction, every moment with our kids, it's a chance to connect, to teach, to help their brains integrate.
And I love the idea that the more we practice these strategies, the more natural they become. It's like we're building new pathways in our own brains as we learn about how our kids' brains work.
Isn't that cool? We're kind of rewiring ourselves for better parenting.
I like that. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one big takeaway you'd want our listeners to remember from the whole brain child?
Hmm, that's a great question. I think more than anything, it's this. Every child has the potential to thrive. And as parents, we have this amazing opportunity to help them do just that.
By understanding their brains, using these strategies, we're giving them a foundation for a good life, really.
Exactly. It's a journey, for
Yeah.
sure. There will be challenges.
Oh, yeah, definitely ups and downs.
But it's also a journey filled with so much joy.
It really is. You know, it's like
Yeah.
we're all on this big adventure together, us, our kids, even our own brains. We're learning and growing right alongside them.
I love that way of looking at it. And those moments of connection, those aha moments when you see things clicking for your child, it's just magical.
It really is. So to everyone listening out there who joined us for this deep dive into the whole brain child,
Oh.
we hope you feel inspired. We hope you feel equipped.
You have the knowledge, you have the tools to raise amazing, resilient kids.
So keep learning, keep connecting, and most importantly, have fun along the way. Thanks for joining us, everyone.